Everyone, we're here with Cooper Koch and Jose Colon, and they are the stars of a new horror thriller called Swallowed. That's going to be released uh, on digital and on demand February 14th. Gentlemen, how's it going?
Wonderful. So happy to be here.
I'm
Yeah.
glad to be talking to you. So can one of you, well, maybe the both of you, uh, tell me about Swallowed? What is the movie about?
You want me to take it?
Flip a coin.
Okay. Swallowed basically centers around these two friends, Benjamin and Dom. Benjamin is getting ready to move to LA to become a porn star. And Dom, his best friend slash love interest, wants to send him off to LA with some extra cash. And basically, they get caught up in this drug trafficking scandal where they have to swallow these sacks of drugs that then don't end up being the drugs that you think they are. They turn out to be something else.
Ay caramba. I
Yeah.
mean, you know. So let's talk about your character Ben. Benjamin is heading off to LA to become a porn star, and I mean, like, what's he all about aside from porn?
Yeah, I think he grew up in like rural Maine, so like there's not a lot there, and he knows that he just has more to offer the world. He wants to go where he wants to make money. He wants to go where, there's uh uh fame and stars, and he sees himself in LA. And I think, yeah, he just wants more out of life, and he doesn't really want the quiet sort of Maine life. And yeah, I think he also, being queer in Maine is a little bit sheltering. Like, I don't think there's a lot of queer people there. And, he knows he's attractive, he knows he's sexy, he knows that he's good at having sex. And I think that's just sort of where he sees himself. So yeah.
And same question for you, Jose. Dom, what's Dom about? And what pulls you guys into this one last uh, uh drug? I don't know, interaction. Sorry.
I think Dom is really just a guy, but the whole situation gets messy because I don't know. I feel like everyone's been there when they sort of try to do something that's helpful to someone else. They want to do something nice, and then they just fuck something up.
Hmm.
Like everyone's been there a little bit, and this is sort of what Dom does. He it's a nice thing to do. He wants to send his friend off to California with some money. That's a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
But everything goes to shit, and you know, obviously, I've never been there to that extent, but his intentions are really good. He has really good intentions. Just doesn't
Excellent.
work out.
And not to, sorry to jump on you, Jose, but I think also that is kind of a through line for their relationship as well. Like, it's kind of a pattern that Dom continues to get into, where he makes these decisions and wants to do things for other people, but he's consistently getting himself in these situations that are like messed up. And Ben is the one who's always kind of having to pull him out of it. Literally and figuratively.
That's good.
So, when was the film shot?
We shot it in June of 2021.
Okay, so pandemic was
Yeah.
relatively done.
It was a 3-week shoot. It was a 3-week shoot, and we were there a week early.
Wow, awesome. And when either of you first grabbed the script and were able to read it, what really made you go like, yeah, I want to be a part of this movie?
Go ahead, Jose.
Um, Look, it's my first film, and Carter Smith is, obviously one of the best contemporary directors in the business, filmmakers in the business right now, and everyone attached to it. you know. I thought it was a wonderful opportunity for me, and I was a big fan of Carter's already. You know, I
Mhm.
was a big fan of some of the cast already. So yeah, I thought it was really, really, really an opportunity that I would have done for like for free. You know, so,
Don't let the producers know. Um,
yeah.
but my God, this is your first film. Congratulations, first off. But how did you land this first role?
Um, so I was studying in New York City. I was doing a lot of off Broadway, off Broadway. So I was already training, but an old agent of mine, like a modeling agent I used to have, he introduced me to Carter. I've been in LA for probably 3 going on 4 years, and when I first came here, he put me in a group chat with Carter, and then I shot with Carter for all the Dead Boys, and that's sort of the very beginning of how I got the role for Swallowed. The role
Wonderful.
for Swallowed, yeah.
Well, awesome. And Cooper, what about you and your career? And how did you end up with this film?
Um, I met Carter in like 2016 or 2017. We just kind of like met and we knew we wanted to work together. And there were a couple projects over the years that I got close on, but didn't ultimately end up getting. And then my my team sent me the script for Swallowed, and it was just one of those page turner scripts where you just kind of like you just are flying through it, and it was so fun to read. And I loved how I loved how real the dialogue was. Like it just felt so it just felt so natural. And the thing that I loved about it the most too is that um it's not necessarily about the queer experience. Like it's not about coming out, it's not about being gay, it's not about, um yeah, it's more like it just so happens that the character or the characters
Mhm.
identify as queer.
And we
um
need so much more of that,
yeah,
because we've
exactly.
seen those movies. We've seen the movies about, oh, coming out and, like you
Yeah,
said. So
finally we have something where it's just normalized, and he just happens to be gay, and it's not about that. It's about a journey of survival and love and like unrequited love. And so that was also what really attracted it to me. And it's so scary, not the film itself, but just like it's daunting reading that and being like, wow, how could I do this, and I always want to do something that scares me or that challenges me. So
so what was it like working with Carter on this film? Were there any, I don't know, professional takeaways for you that you picked up? Jose, you first.
Um, yeah, I mean, y- unless you're making a movie, you don't really know anything about movies. Like, obviously, you can love them, but it was really, really, really educating.
Mm.
Yeah, there's nothing like making a movie. If you want to be in the movies, make one. You know what I'm saying? That's I loved every bit of it.
And Cooper, what about you? Working with Carter, what you
um yeah, I did another film right after shooting Swallowed, They Slash Them,
Mhm.
which was like a big
Oh
budget.
yeah, that was a great one.
Yeah, a big budget, and we had, you know, movie stars, and it was like a very more commercial film, and so a huge cast. And so it was really interesting kind of going from this like small ragtag team of filmmakers to like a huge kind of like scale.
Mhm.
And not to say I prefer one or the other, but shooting with Carter and working in such like intimate kind of environments when with such an intimate crew, it was so much, in a way, like so much more freeing, and like there was less pressure, and I got to have a say in like, I if I didn't like something, or if I wanted to say this, or like Carter was so open with us about improvisation and like, our own ideas and our own opinions about the characters. And not to say that, John Logan wasn't, or that I didn't have that kind of freedom on the They Slash Them set, but it was just like a different kind of such a different environment, you know? And I think that's what's so cool about filmmaking is you can, you know, you can have such different experiences while still doing the same craft, you know?
Yeah, it's just a very different machine.
Yeah.
So are you guys horror fans, or was this like, okay, let's, you know, are you big horror fans, or?
I think I would rather be in horror films than watch them, but I am a horror fan. I loved I first got into like horror with American Horror Story. That was like what I was my first kind of like
That was your gateway?
that was my gateway exactly. And then my answer for this question has been Pearl. I loved that film this
Ah,
year. It's
yeah.
probably my favorite. That was probably my favorite horror film this year.
Wow. And Mia Goth, side note, Mia Goth just
Oh
kills it
God.
in
Why
Infinity
wasn't
Pool.
she? I
Oh,
wanted her to be nominated for an
well,
Oscar.
she should have been. She
She
should have
should
been.
have been.
And this is, again, this is what the horror genre faces all the time.
I
Like
know.
Silence of the Lambs, the first horror movie ever to win Best Picture,
Yeah.
uh, is classified as a thriller.
Yeah.
So they don't call it horror. So whatever. I mean, let's talk about what you have coming up next. You did They Slash Them. You have Swallowed going on. So what's coming up next for you?
Well, to be completely honest, there is nothing in the works at the moment. I wish there was, but we are still awaiting what is
And
to come next.
are you
So,
are you in LA?
I am in LA. Yeah.
Well, for starters, that's a great spot to be
Yeah.
in.
I'm reading for stuff. So we're just waiting to see what is gonna come back my way, you know? I hope
Well,
it's not horror because I've had- I've been doing that train for a minute. So I want a different genre.
do some
Uh,
sort of a rom-com. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know, but something else. And I can't be too picky and choosy because whatever comes my way, I'm most likely gonna take. But so we'll see. We'll see.
Well, Jose, what's coming next for you?
Um, I got a really good reps, so I guess we'll just wait on that one.
And see what's coming? Are you reading anything or no?
Uh, I'm working on some really good
All right, being cagey. All right.
stuff.
Excellent. Well, how has the response been to Swallowed so far?
It's
Good.
been great.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are really enjoying it. All my friends and family are really they love it and they're super supportive of it. I'm excited to finally have it be out there. It's been a long time coming. So hopefully when it's finally out and then hopefully when it's finally out, we'll start to see some more response. I'm curious to see what it will be.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I have yet to get my review up, so I promise I will.
Awesome.
But gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. And Jose, Cooper, keep working, keep at it. You guys are gonna do fine. You're amazing. Keep going.
Thank you so much, Norm.
And best of luck with this release, and please come back when you have something else.
Yeah, we will.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, adios.